Deciding what habit to build is an important part in the habit building process, because if you don't build the right habit for you, it's a complete waste of time. Let's break down my method of 3 easy steps to choosing what habit is right for you. Step 1 is identifying your current habits and identifying what's right for you, what you already do every single day. So let's say your daily routine is waking up, checking your email, then you put your clothes on, you get to work, you come back, you sit on the couch and relax. That's kind of your everyday thing. Now, let's go through and look at your life. And what you want to do is for step 1, for deciding what habit is right for you, is going through and listing out the habits you already do, identifying the positives, identifying the negatives, writing why you think they're positive, why you think they're negative, and then starting to look at replacing the negative habits with other habits that give you similar benefits. And when you can do that, then you can get a lot better routines and a lot easier schedules. So another thing you want to do is you want to question everything about your routine. Why do you do the things you do? How does this benefit you? Should you be doing this habit? Should you not be doing this habit? It's all about your personal lifestyle. Of course, life's going to get in the way sometimes, but you want to look at what your everyday routine would look like if it were to be consistently scheduled every single day. So when you go through and you start questioning those things, you can really start to identify what you like about your current routine and what you want to change about your current routine. And that's a really important process, identifying what you're doing now and how you want to change that for the future. And going through that, there's a lot of different things you can look at. Mostly identify the positive and the negative. Mostly get not a black and white. You want to get like what habits are good for you and what habits you would rather change. Instead of like maybe eating pizza every night, maybe you want to like try some new food or try something new. So go through, identify your habits and write them down if they're positive or negative. Step 2 is to bring your future self into the present. And what I mean by that is I want you to think and ask yourself, what do I want to become, accomplish in the future, right? You want to take that aspect that you want to become. Say you want to be a writer, right? What does a writer do that you can start bringing their habits into your present now? So if your future self, you imagine yourself being a glorious writer who's written many, many novels, how do you bring that person into the present and start building those habits? Because habits are really just the building blocks for what you want to accomplish and what you want to become in life down the line, right? And habits are really the fundamental building blocks of becoming into that person or into that person that's accomplished those different things. So for the writer example that I was saying, breaking that down, writers probably write every single day. Maybe not every single day. Maybe they edit, maybe they read new techniques, they read different books, get inspiration. You want to bring some of those things and break them down into easy to do everyday steps. So deciding what habit is right for you is a lot about your personal preference. Do you want to be a writer? Do you want to be a runner? Do you want to be both? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. What does your future look like, and how can you bring that into the present? So if you want to be a runner, maybe you go on runs in the morning. I mean, I personally want to be healthy and fit. So how I do that and how I bring that to today is I go every morning, I wake up, the first thing I do is I put on my gym clothes and I go on a short run. And that's how I bring my future self and I bring that habit into today, because then eventually down the line, it will build up to becoming where I'm fit and healthy, which is what I want. Step 3 is turning your goals into habits. So I've had a lot of goals that I've written down over the course of my life, and as short as it is right now, but one of the goals that I had set for myself was to read 100 books, and it's still one of the goals that I carry today. But the problem is that goals are kind of haphazard. There's not every day you'll be able to work towards them. There's some times where, like what I was doing before, is I wouldn't be able to read, and then one day a week I'd sit down and I'd read as much as I could, but it wasn't consistent. And part of turning your goals into habits is making consistent progress towards that goal, because consistency and persistence are the 2 most important factors in accomplishing your goal. And what you want to do is, by turning your goal, saying for me reading 100 books, is to turn it down, break it down into something easy, something simple you can do every single day. So what I did is I turned that down and I said I'm going to read a few pages every single day, because that only takes 5-10 minutes, and I can spare 5-10 minutes every day. And what that does is, by turning your goals into a system, it really, really improves how much you can work towards. And granted, you think like, oh, I'm only making a little bit of progress towards my goals, but over the long term, that little progress adds up and goes up exponentially. And another part of that is, and this habit that really stuck out with me was, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Because you can set a huge goal to read 100 books, but in the end, you can only read a few pages a day. So in conclusion, what you want to do is you want to identify your current habits, your positive and your negative habits, and then you want to bring your future self into the present. What does that future self that you want to become do on a regular basis? How do they improve themselves? And then step 3 would be turn your goals. What things do you want to accomplish in your life that you can turn into a daily habit? Thank you so much for watching this episode. I'm your host, Christian, and we have a podcast, YouTube channel, and blog. All of that is in the description section below. And next episode, we'll be discussing how to build that habit that you've decided this episode.